Hi everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terrence Scardino. The week begins on Monday, September the 7th, and this is a big week of energy shifts as Mars is going to turn retrograde and Jupiter is going to turn direct. On Monday, the moon is in stabilizing steady Taurus in harmony with the sun in Virgo, because Taurus and Virgo are both earth signs, more grounded, more practical, and in harmony with each other. And Jupiter is in Capricorn, the third earth sign. So we have the moon in Taurus in harmony with the sun in Virgo, in harmony with the Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter is all this optimism and growth. The sun, you're just feeling in sync. Everything is flowing. And then towards early evening, Pacific time, then the moon is in harmony with Neptune, that planet of compassion, empathy, and inspiration. So the week starts off very solid, much more optimistic. Tuesday, the moon continues in Taurus for the first part of the day, and in the first part of the morning, Pacific time, the moon will be in harmony with stabilizing, grounding Saturn. Then the moon goes void of course, which I've mentioned each week, when the moon is no longer making aspects to other planets, so there's no activity. And so the energy is kind of flat. It's good to just continue what you're doing, but not so good if you're trying to launch some kind of new project, a business, etc., because you don't have the energy. The moon is void, of course, in Taurus from 5:47 a.m. until 2:28 p.m. Pacific time. At that point, 2:28 p.m., the moon goes into Gemini. Gemini is all this more mentally stimulating, distractive, jumping from one idea, a lot of restlessness and a lot of mental stimulation. And in those next couple of hours, the moon in Gemini will be in harmony with sociable, pleasure-seeking Venus. Good for enjoying life, enjoying friends and loved ones, doing something entertaining. Wednesday, now the sun in Virgo is going to be in harmony with Jupiter in Capricorn. So it's a day that's the sun putting a spotlight favorably on all things Jupiter. Education, traveling, optimism, even legal matters. However, Wednesday, the 9th of September, is when Mars goes retrograde until November the 13th. Mars is that initiating projects. Mars is aggressive, courageous. But when it goes retrograde for a couple of months, once every 2 years, whatever you're desiring and aggressing and going after, it feels more like you're pushing a boulder up a wall, up a hill, swimming against the current. So you might be feeling more irritable. It could be a time when there's going to be a lot more flare-ups of protesting and violent outbursts. This is best to breathe, get this energy out of the body, think before acting. Good for spiritual practices, because the Mars is turning inward. So good for charity, good for helping those less fortunate. And that Sun Jupiter, even though that Mars is turning retrograde, there's a certain amount of optimism. Thursday, the moon still in Gemini, but it's going to now be in a challenging aspect with the sun in Virgo. Gemini, Virgo, they kind of clash, and then it clashes with the moon in Neptune, or the moon squaring Neptune. So it is a day the first part of the day where there's a lot of mood swings, feeling kind of emotionally out of sorts. As we go into Friday, now the moon is in Cancer for the next couple of days. Cancer, that moon is that emotional need. The moon is the planet of comforting, nurturing. Cancer is the domestic sign. Moon in Cancer, maybe you just want to stay at home. Maybe you just want to be comforted by family. Could be really good for entertaining at home, cooking a dinner for family. Now, the Sun on Friday is going to be in opposition or interactions with others with Neptune. But it's a day you have to be careful of other people's intention, because the Neptune, as one quasi-positive example, is that somebody is reaching out to you and there's like also optimistic, this is going to be great, but they don't know what they're talking about. And so they're misinformed and they're giving you misinformed information, but their intentions are honorable. But on the flip side of that coin is somebody could be not so honest, maybe a bit of betrayal. So you have to be careful of interactions with others. As we get into Saturday, now expansive Jupiter is going direct. Jupiter's been retrograde since about the middle of May and goes direct Saturday, September the 12th. Jupiter rules education, traveling, publishing. There's this sense of growth and optimism. The fact that it's been retrograde since the middle of May, overall that means whatever you were hoping for or whatever you were expecting of what was promised to you, the Jupiter retrograde contains it, makes it smaller. But now the blessings and promises of Jupiter can start to be released. I look at Jupiter as the Santa Claus of the zodiac, wanting to bring us gifts. But Saturn is still retrograde until the 28th of September. So the Jupiter, now it's starting to feel a bit more optimistic, bringing you more opportunities. But there's still a certain amount of delays for a couple of more weeks. But on that day, Saturday, the moon in Cancer is in harmony with Jupiter, in harmony with Neptune and the Sun. So it's a really good day for feeling optimistic, making long-range plans, maybe making travel plans or educational plans. But the tone is this sense of growth and hopefulness. And so we have a very active week. For the most part, a lot of growth, a lot of progress. That Mars in going retrograde, just make sure that you're not making rash decisions or you're letting your ego get bent out of shape. So just breathe. So I want to thank you for watching. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.